The world of DC can be a monstrous place if you know where to look, which honestly should surprise no one familiar with the publisher.
DC is generally referred to as being the more dark and gritty of the big two, and part of the reason why it has this reputation is because of their varied, demon, and often more complex monster-like characters.
Welcome back, Nerd Squad. I'm Amanda McKnight.
And I'm Patty D. Today, we'd like to take you on an adventure to this more dark and spooky area of DC as we count down our top 10 DC monster characters.
It's going to be a lot of ghastly fun, so get ready and let's get counting.
Number 10. CLAYFACE. CLAYFACE is one of Batman's classic villains, with the power to morph his clay body into any shape, becoming anyone or anything. His real name is Baz Karlo, and he received his powers from Penguin in exchange for becoming one of his henchmen. He wanted to become a successful actor, and his new clay powers helped with that, the clay evolving inside of him and eventually giving him the ability to copy the DNA of anyone he touches and files it away in his memory, to be retrieved at any time. A lot of folks remember him for turning his fists into giant hammers like Marvel's Sandman, but it's actually this penchant for shapeshifting that makes CLAYFACE such a formidable foe. He was once a member of the secret society of supervillains and sought to increase his powers by absorbing Wonder Woman, as she is also constructed from clay. He actually sort of succeeds in this, partially absorbing some of Wonder Woman and becoming a more powerful CLAYFACE, but it could never last. It all comes to an end with CLAYFACE being spun around in a giant makeshift centrifuge to separate out the clay before getting slammed into the ground. It's totally awesome.
Number 9. Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy is also often known as Cyrus Gold. It is believed that him being killed and dumped in a swamp is what transformed him into the zombie-like monster that he is today. While there are many heroic monster characters within DC Comics, Solomon is not one of them. His creation as a character and villain was inspired by the Solomon Grundy nursery rhyme, which goes, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That was the end of Solomon Grundy. One version of Solomon Grundy sees him actually become inspired to take up the name himself after hearing the nursery rhyme and noting a similarity between its protagonist and himself. Here he does not remember his true identity, only that he was born on a Monday. This is the Earth 2 version who has that backstory, just FYI.
Number 8. Man-Bat. Love him or hate him, seeing Man-Bat definitely leaves an impression, especially some of his more hairy, sweaty, modern interpretations. Kirk Langstrom invented the infamous Man-Bat serum, which turns the user into a hideous bat monster. Originally created to help the deaf and blind, Langstrom's serum has been used by vigilantes and criminals alike. The unfortunate side effect of making the user nearly feral has always been an issue with the serum, and Dr. Langstrom has at times been both an ally and enemy to Batman. During the Arkham War, Man-Bat used his serum to create more monsters like himself, joining the Arkhamites under the leadership of Scarecrow, although they later lose the war to Bane and his forces. He is addicted to using his Man-Bat serum, and between battling his maniacal wife and acting like a feral monster, he's got it pretty rough.
Number 7. Dracula. Back in the day, Dracula and his pal Frankenstein tended to be monsters you'd see tangle with heroes like the Phantom Stranger, Superman, and Batman in comics. Phantom Stranger, I feel like the Phantom Stranger always just shows up when something is too scary or too epic for anyone else to fix it. Over time, these monster characters have come to evolve somewhat in the world of DC. Well, less so in Dracula's case, but definitely more true in the case of Frankenstein. We've also seen versions of Dracula pop up in Elseworld stories like Batman's Red Rain. New Earth Dracula is also known as Count Romanoff and appears, like most iterations, to be based on Bram Stoker's Dracula, possessing many of the anticipated vampiric superpowers that you'd expect. While we have seen Dracula transform characters into vampires, making them join his legion of the undead, like Batman, he pretty much is always defeated by the heroes he goes up against. And while he did at one point even get to bite Superman, he learned that even Superman's blood was his enemy, being supercharged with solar energy, making it deadly to Dracula and basically killing him instantly.
Number 6. The SHEEDA. The SHEEDA live on Earth 1 billion years in the future. They are either genetically engineered or evolved descendants of humanity or some other race that comes after humans. They possess crests that give them access to animalistic powers. They realized that they were the last race that would ever live on Earth and resolved to focus on their own survival. However, a time machine arrives in their time one day and they reverse engineer it, returning to Neanderthal times and raiding the Earth. They end up reorganizing their whole civilization to take advantage of these regular harvesting operations using the time machine. They appear in 7 Soldiers of Victory from 2005, and it's a nice bit of mind-bending time-traveling action. At one point in the story, Zatanna even shows up.
ETRIGAN is a complex character, sometimes a villain, sometimes an ally. He is bonded to the once human Jason Blood. I say once human because Jason is now basically an immortal because of this bonding process. Merlin was the one who caused the two to become bonded, cursing both of them in essence, as Jason must now suffer through eternal life, forced to coexist with a demon, and ETRIGAN is tied inseparably to the once mortal, often more moral Jason Blood. In some continuities, Merlin is also related to ETRIGAN. Before being bonded to Jason, ETRIGAN was known for being the unstoppable son of Belial and the demon queen Ron Vadath. ETRIGAN is basically a prince of hell and is often known in the comics to speak exclusively in rhymes. He speaks in rhymes all the times, or at least often does so anyways, depending on the continuity that you're reading. This is considered to be a signifier of his hellish nobility, the ease in which he rhymes, because demons love a good, skillful rhyme, which I guess makes me a demon because I also like a nice rhyme.
Number 4. WOLFPACK. Private Warren Griffith was a World War II soldier, wounded and hospitalized. He was diagnosed with lycanthropy, hallucinatory belief that he was turning into a wolf. This made him the perfect candidate to be turned into a real-life werewolf, and that's just what they did. Dr. Mazursky and his team of specialists at Project M artificially turned Warren into a werewolf. However, his transformations are independent of the phases of the moon. In fact, in his earliest mission, the changes just totally happened randomly. With time, Private Griffith gained a certain measure of control over the transformations, and he went on to serve in an experimental unit known as the Creature Commandos, alongside Vincent Velcro and Elliot Taylor. WOLFPACK is a pretty cool guy, and like any grizzled war veteran, he's got a storied past, having first appeared way back in 1980 in Weird War Tales number 93.
Number 3. Frankenstein. Yep, DC has a Frankenstein too! Everyone gets a Frankenstein, because public domain. In terms of this version, it is definitely, like many others, inspired by Mary Shelley's version of Frankenstein's monster. This Frankenstein is generally seen as a hero working alongside various super monster teams such as the 7 Soldiers and later on the agency known as SHEED, which stands for Superhuman Advanced Defense Executive. Like many other monster characters, Frankenstein can be a bit of an anti-hero, and the New 52 version of the character even killed his creator, though he was pretty justified because Dr. Frankenstein was quite unkind to his creation.
Number 2. DEADMAN. Also known as Boston Brand, he is a ghost, literally a dead man walking. He was a circus acrobat, killed during a performance by a mysterious man known only as the Hook. He's got a hook for a hand. We'll talk about him another day. After being killed by Hook, Boston's spirit contacted the Hindu goddess Ramakrishna, or did she contact him? And she gave Boston the power to possess any living being. He uses this power to search for his killer and obtain justice. It's kind of like a mission that he has to do, actually. But he also goes on to alter circumstances in people's lives, benefiting the innocent and correcting wrongdoing. He eventually finds the truth about his own death, but rather than moving on, accepts his role as one who intervenes in the lives of mortals. He's a friendly ghost. He once helped Batman capture the Boomerang Killer, and also helped Batman and Superman take down a gang of smugglers once. Not bad for a dude who's literally already dead.
Number 1. Swamp Thing. When it comes to DC monsters, the most iconic one is definitely Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing initially believed it was the human Alec Holland, transformed into a monstrosity by the scientist's own biorestorative formula. In reality, Swamp Thing is something more than that. One of the elemental creatures created by the Green in response to it being attacked and acting as its defender against those who would threaten to cause it harm. Swamp Thing was created out of the consciousness of Alec Holland and does happen to share his memories and emotions, but is technically a new being built of Alec's consciousness and the swamp that he perished in. Well, that is all we have today for all of these amazing DC monster characters. Are there any monster characters that we left out that you love?
Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below, and maybe we'll feature some of your answers in a future video.
Maybe a part 2. But for now, speaking of comments, let's get to some comments from top 10 weirdest Christmas comics that you need to read. I really loved this video, it was fun.
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun to make. Mad Lad Chad says, "The Black Adam part got me laughing. My little brother's favorite character is Black Adam, and we don't know why."
Aww.
Yeah, I also really like that Black Adam story. I have a feeling Black Adam is about to become a lot more popular as a character.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I also feel like it's probably because Dwayne Johnson plays Black Adam that your brother is like obsessed, which like I get. Who doesn't love Dwayne Johnson?
He's pretty awesome.
He's pretty great. Roguequake Witch shares, "When I told my parents Santa is a mutant, they seemed to stop breathing." Wow, well I hope they started breathing again. And I understand, because I feel like that's a very shocking revelation. I too was shocked when I learned of that. I think I stopped breathing when you told me about it.
Definitely for a little bit.
Definitely just for a second. Alright friends, thank you so much for commenting and sharing all those thoughts with us. Feel free to do so below so that you can be featured in a future video. Till next time, I'm Amanda McKnight.
And I'm Patty D. Thanks for watching Top 10 Nerd.
And stay nerdy, friends.